we still have two parallel political rallies just last weekend, like Duncan is telling us. What is with the parallel rallies, Jared?
Well, I think it all began by ODM and Code Fraternity in general to come up with parallel functions when Jubilee, as a government, holds any function. We remember when they had a prayer rally for the 6 Ocampo suspects, former suspects, because they were acquitted. When they were holding prayers in Nakuru, because they wanted to share the spoils with Jubilee, they chose a parallel rally in Kibera. And then when also the president chose to have the very first Madaraka Day celebrations in Nakuru, CORD chose to come to Uhuru Park. So I think the idea behind this is to ensure that, they do not therefore design a new political discourse for a period of time, hence enjoying acres and acres of press. So I think that is the main concept. Again, last weekend, when Jubilee was launching in Kasarani, they chose to have a parallel one in Mombasa. And every discussion thereafter was about the two political parties. So I think that kind of formula has worked very well for ODM and for CORD as a coalition. I think reading from the same script, Jubilee didn't want CORD or ODM to have the kind of press that they could have enjoyed had they not gone to the same constituency to also propagate their ideals. Of course, the initial arrangement was that they were going to share the same podium. But, this is now a new constitution, a new dispensation. Previously, you had to seek permission from the police to grant you an opportunity to be at Uhuru Park, for instance. But now, the idea is just to inform the police that you will hold a rally so that they can provide adequate security for that function. The venues are now functions of the devolved system, which is the county government. And therefore, you understand why when William Ruto states that, it will be a do or die for the Nairobi gubernatorial position, and they say they cannot control the government, both the president and deputy president for this country, yet where their offices sit are controlled by somebody else.
Right.
So I think based on all these factors, you therefore see why it is very juicy for a political party to have a governor on its side. You remember when I think CORD wanted to carry out a function in Uhuru Park, and another church ministry came up with a claim of the same site. And, the police came up to say that we first received the letter from this church ministry, and therefore we are giving them the mandate to go to Uhuru Park until the law, some police officers don't understand the law, some do. But they had to be told in categorical terms that, it is the county government that has the mandate to do so.
Right.
So I think it is just about sharing the spoils. Of course, many cases went to the Supreme Court touching on elections. It is only Kariuki's case that succeeded at the Supreme Court, and hence a by-election was ordered. But you see the role that was played by Governor Evans Kidero, Governor Ali Hassan Joho, and the ODM family in order to, clinch that seat.
That's it.
We'll
get into that. Ishmael, do you see the fact that the county number 047 Nairobi is an ODM county?
Oh, sorry, you haven't introduced to our viewers.
Ishmael is not new to our viewers. Ishmael Naribu has just joined us in this second part of. Thank you, Jared. The second part of the show. And Ishmael, karibu sana.
Thank you.
Do you see the fact that this is an ODM county? Of course, Governor Evans Kidero having played a part in deciding the venue, Jubilee finally blinking, moving their grounds. Does it play any part?
First and foremost, I do not believe that Nairobi as a county is actually purely an ODM county. Nonetheless, the Jubilee have not actually performed the way the citizens expected them to perform. So naturally, it means the Nairobians have to switch over to somebody they feel can listen to them. And As you can see now, it's evident that it will be Jubilee to do their homework to try to unseat the court and ODM, office bearer, and any other person coming up will actually be fighting against the ODM. And you can see that being replayed in Mathare today. Of course, Jubilee, as you say, have winked first. The reality is they probably had no other choice other than to wink first, considering, I'm not talking about actually the Jubilee, the ODM staff. I'm talking about the people. The people of Mathare were definitely going to react angrily if, for example, the ODM venue was to be pushed to any other destination. So second bit of this is that everybody understands the stakes are high, and they are actually targeting 2017. The stakes are so high such that the Mombasa governor and the Nairobi governor and several other governors now will join to ensure that the climate in Nairobi is actually pro the court and not for Jubilee.
Oh,
yes. Answering you directly, and I have to repeat this, it's not that Nairobi belongs to a particular coalition, but the best performer in the mentality of Nairobians is the person they will vote in. And so far, for now, court seems to be on the lead, yes.
Dismas, how do you see this playing out today?
Well, number one, I'd like to disagree with Ishmael. When you're looking at county, now right now people are using the numericals, 47, belonging to Jubilee. That is erroneous. I think for Dr. Evans Kidero, it's for him to lose this seat. Not because he's done anything that would shock anybody coming to Nairobi for the first time. Personally, I think Dr. Kidero has done below par. But because we don't have any strong choices, he'll take advantage of the tribal lords that we have in Kenya, who are regarded as our political leadership. Provided Raila Odinga, Kalonzo, and Wetangula are together in the court coalition, then Dr. Kidero doesn't need to do a lot of campaign, because these leaders, what they'll be able to do is to invoke the tribal emotions, and they have their own running for Nairobi and winning. But now coming to the really issue is that the political leaders in Kenya, I think they are beginning to pollute the environment by creating unnecessary tensions. Like for instance, in Mathare, when there's an announcement that ODM is going to do a rally, and Governor Joe made the announcement a long time ago, and everybody knew that it was going to be an ODM rally. And then the young man called Karaoke, who is a beneficiary of Ali Hassan Joe and Dr. Evans Kidero, because he's in the National Assembly today, not on his own merits, because he's really a novice, but because Kidero wanted to prove to the entire world that he's in charge of Nairobi. And he bankrolled the campaign, and he got a lot of support, even from Ababu Namwamba, who is now missing in action. I think really it's bad manners for our politicians to keep on competing in terms of venues and events. If a political party in Kenya wants to do their program, let them be allowed to do their programs without the second party coming to engage in competition. And I think right now it's very good. It's a very good opportunity for CORD to be reminded that they're the ones who started this kind of competition. Wherever Jubilee wanted to have an event, they would also say that we don't want Jubilee to have all the mileage. Let's create an event alongside. And I think the Mathare case is a very good point in mind.
Isn't that reactionary? Doesn't it give an image of just somebody or a party that doesn't have a political agenda to set? They just wait where there is some light and they go. Doesn't it do that?
All these two major political formations, that's CORD and Jubilee, they do not have a system that plans for them events long term. All of them, they've got a firefighting approach to issues. Like for instance, if you ask Karaoke, you are the member of Mathare. You've been the member maybe for the last 2 or 3 years. Has it not occurred to you that if you've achieved any kind of progress, you've got a constituency office and you can be meeting your members on a regular basis and telling them what you've done? And if I was a registered voter in Mathare today, I would be very worried, because why would it take you, ODM, for you to tell us that you've actually achieved any level of progress? It's supposed to be automatic, that you are supposed to be meeting with your voters on a regular basis and telling them what you've done. And even now drilling down, if you've done anything in Mathare constituency, you don't even need to call your voters to tell them, this is what I've done for you. They need to see the benefits of you being in the National Assembly. If you're talking about roads, you're talking about toilets or markets, they should be able to see that without you calling them. And I think it's important for the political leaders in Kenya today to be told that they're creating a very toxic environment, creating unnecessary tensions within our communities, simply because the political leaders do not allow any of them to engage in planning. I suspect Jared here would accept that the CORD coalition leader does not listen to very good advice. Because if he did, he would know that you need to have your own calendar. If President Kenyatta has decided to go and celebrate Madaraka Day in Nakuru, you don't need to have a rally at Uhuru Park. In as much as nothing stops you from the legal perspective, but good manners dictates that you take a break. If you've not been invited to Nakuru, you can go to your living room and watch the proceedings live.
Right.
And also, Kariuki must be told that he's a very young man in politics, and he shouldn't start creating unnecessary tensions within Mathare. But again, you recall, a few days ago, his party leader, President Kenyatta, signed into law the anti-party hopping regulation. And what is going to be happening increasingly every day is anybody who wants to run for a political office would be struggling to catch the president's attention. And I suspect that's what Kariuki is trying to do, by trying to catch the attention of people like Maina Kamanda and the president and his deputy, telling them that I'm a very young man, I'm in this office because of Dr. Kidero, but wait a minute, I've overgrown them, I've outgrown them, and I can